Welcome back. Fox 35 is still on top of this breaking news this morning. The CDC and the FDA are recommending a pause in administering the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine. They want to investigate further reports of potentially dangerous blood clots. And joining us now to talk more about it is Dr. Oz. Good to see you, first of all. Thanks for taking the time to be with us this morning.
You're more than welcome. I want to say right up front, I don't want people losing confidence in the vaccination process because of the J&J pause. It's actually a recommendation that makes sense, and it shows that the system works.
So, Dr. Oz, let's talk about what we know right now. So, according to a New York Times article, we know that of these 6 women, that one of them died, one of them is in critical condition. How do we know that it's related to the vaccine?
We don't know for sure, but there's another vaccine made by AstraZeneca that's not available in this country, but uses very similar technology, a weakened virus called an adenovirus, to deliver the spike protein. And in that vaccination program in Europe, they've also identified some clots, similar clots. And so it starts to raise the possibility that there's a relationship between the approach to giving the vaccine and these clots. Again, the clots are caused most likely, if they are linked, by an autoimmune reaction, which means your body's making antibodies like it's supposed to against the virus, but by mistake, it attacks your own platelets, your own sticky cells, and that leads to blood clots and other complications.
Why do you think, Dr. Oz, we're only seeing it in women so far, or do you think it's just because it's so early?
I think it's really early. And again, it's a 1 in a million chance, so it's a very small signal. One of the reasons the CDC and FDA is pausing more widespread use of the vaccine is to make sure that it's really only 1 in a million. You know, because it's possible we're only identifying 1 in a million, but it's actually happening more. Men don't tend to complain as much. They want to be stoic, so they may be ignoring the belly pain or leg pain that could be linked to this. It's also possible women's immune systems, which are more active when they're young, they've got to deal with childbirth, other issues, so that immune system gets confused more often. So autoimmune problems are more common in women in general.
So, Doc, you mentioned how the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is similar to how the AstraZeneca one is made, right? We're seeing similar side effects, the similar issue. What about Pfizer or Moderna? How are those made that is different?
Well, you know, there's no weakened virus that's involved with the mRNA vaccines. That's what made them so unique. It's the first time that type of vaccine's ever been created. They take a little bit of the spike protein that you want to make antibodies against, and you just wrap them in fat and put them in the body, and they get into your cells, and your body makes and copies it, and you make a response. The old technology, which is again what AstraZeneca and J&J used, was to make a virus that can carry the spike protein with it. Now, that's an effective technique. It's an older idea. It's historically worked quite nicely, which gives a lot of people confidence, but there's always the possibility your body overreacts, which is one of the concerns, that something is just not quite right, at least in 1 in a million people.
Okay, so if you were to have a Pfizer or a Moderna appointment, you would say go for it, still go get that one today, and do not worry.
You know, if the government can pick up literally 1 in a million points of discrepancy, that's a pretty good sign that they're doing their job. So I'd feel doubly reassured that the mRNA vaccines, the Pfizer, Moderna, are safe. I'd stay online. And by the way, 90% plus of all the vaccines given are of those types. So even if you just showed up and didn't ask, overwhelming likelihood you'd get one of those mRNA vaccines, which have no linkage to this problem whatsoever.
And Doc, just so we're clear, the J&J going on pause does not mean that it was not going to come back. It could potentially come back in a week or two.
Well, for sure, it'll come back if they don't find a linkage, if there's no additional cases that are identified, or if there's a really easy treatment to avoid it from becoming a problem. It's a great vaccine in that it's simple to make. There's a lot of fanfare around its authorization by the FDA because it's single dose, simple storage requirements, could speed up the vaccination process dramatically. But it's got to be safe at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. We so appreciate your time this morning, Dr. Oz. Thank you so much for being there for us when we needed you.
You take care.